Today, we're going to dive into a platform that's all about starting a new kind of conversation, a conversation with your own body. The idea is to take all that personal health data you're already collecting and actually translate it into clear, simple insights you can use. So let's see how it all works.
You know, if you've got a fitness tracker or any kind of health app, you are probably swimming in data. I'm talking sleep scores, heart rate variability, step counts, the list goes on. But the big question that always hangs in the air is, so what? What does any of it really mean when you try to piece it all together?
And that's exactly the puzzle that a platform like RootWell and Star is designed to solve. Its whole promise is to take all those different inputs from your body and your day, map them to a clear score for stability, and then give you guidance that's actually personalized to your unique patterns.
The way it does this is really broken down into 3 simple layers. First, you have the root, which is all about gathering your inputs. Next up is coherence, where the system finds the patterns in that data. And finally, there's the star, which is all about creating an action plan. It's a really clear path, so let's walk through it together.
Okay, so everything really starts at the root. You can think of this as the foundation. This is the step where the platform just collects all the raw data, all the daily inputs that make up your life and influence how you feel.
You know, a really great way to think about this is to see the platform as your own personal wellness translator. It's built to listen to all those different signals coming from your body and your environment and then translate them into a language that you can actually understand and act on. So what exactly is it translating? Well, it breaks it down into 2 main categories. On one hand, you've got biosignals. That's all the stuff happening inside your body, like your heart rate or your sleep quality. And on the other hand, you've got environment signals, the things happening around you, like your sunlight exposure or even the air quality. And here's what that actually looks like when you use it. You can track this huge range of signals, from your internal biosignals to those external factors, and you log it all through a really simple daily check-in.
Now, logging things every day is a great habit, but let's be realistic. Life gets busy, right? The good news is you don't actually have to sit there and enter everything by hand.
To make your life a whole lot easier, the platform syncs up with all the big players in the wearables world. You can just connect your Fitbit, your Oura Ring, or your Garmin, and it'll automatically pull in that key data. Plus, it syncs with Apple Health, which really makes the whole process pretty seamless. Okay, so you've gathered all your data in the root. Now we move on to the second step, coherence. This is where all those individual little data points get transformed into one single, really powerful number, your stability score. So what is this coherence score anyway? Well, it's a single number that reflects your body's overall stability. But what's really key here is that it's not just some simple average. It's actually calculated based on the relationship between all your different inputs. That means it can see how different factors influence each other, which gives you a much richer, more complete picture of your wellness.
When you first log in, this is what you'll see. It's basically a clean slate, just waiting for you to complete your first check-in. As soon as you do that, the system gets to work and calculates your very first score.
But then, after just a few days of tracking, your dashboard starts to come alive. You get this really clear 7-day trend line, which lets you actually see the rhythm of your own body and how your stability ebbs and flows in response to your daily life.
All right, this brings us to the third layer, the star. So you've gathered the data, you've got your stability score, now it's time for the big payoff, turning all that knowledge into an AI-powered action plan.
Because let's face it, seeing your score go up and down is interesting, but the question you really want answered is, why? What specific things are you doing that are actually moving the needle for you?
And the platform just gives you the answer straight up. It analyzes all your personal data to pinpoint and show you your top positive and your top negative score drivers. This is personalized feedback at its best. No more guesswork about what's actually working for you and what isn't. For example, if you look here, a user can see with total clarity that over the last 2 weeks, getting more sleep had the biggest positive impact on their score. And on the flip side, their reported stress level is the #1 thing dragging their score down. It's just incredibly direct and actionable.
Now, this is already a giant leap forward from just looking at raw data, but what if you want to dig even deeper? What if you have more specific questions about the patterns you're seeing? Well, the platform lets you do exactly that. The Ask Root Guide feature is basically an AI assistant that lets you have a conversation with your own data. You can ask it things in plain English, like, what does HRV mean for me? Or how can I improve my sleep? And get personalized suggestions right back. Now,
AI and data are incredibly powerful tools, but the platform also gets that sometimes you just need a human touch. And that brings us to the next part of this journey, connecting all these data-driven insights with real guidance from a professional.
And what's really fascinating here is just how broad the approach is. The platform's directory is inspired by what it calls the healing wisdom of the world, offering you connections to practitioners in traditions ranging from traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda all the way to indigenous North American practices.
The whole goal here is to build a bridge, right? To connect this ancient, broad wisdom to the practical, personalized help that you might need for your specific situation.
And you can see just how practical it gets. The specialist marketplace lets you filter for practitioners based on really specific needs. So whether you need help with gut health, or stress, or cognitive performance, you can find an expert who's tailored to what you're looking for.
So there you have it. We've walked through the whole thing, gathering your inputs, understanding your stability, getting insights from AI, and even connecting with an expert. It's a really powerful way to start learning about yourself. And that just leaves us with one final thought for you. Now that you've seen what's possible, what's the first question you would ask your body?